What's going on, guys? This is Al B back with another video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 quick tips in FL Studio. Now these are just some shortcuts, some methods and techniques that I use that really enhance my workflow and just make it easier for me to stay in a creative mindset when I'm making beats and not get caught up and bogged down inside the GUI and clicking all around. It just really helps when you can just bada bing and just, you know what I'm saying, do what you need to do real quick. So that's what I'm gonna show you guys, just 5 ways to be able to work more efficiently in FL Studio. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, that notification bell won't hurt either. Go ahead and hit that one too, so I can keep bringing you guys this dope content, all right? Without further ado, this is Al B. Let's get into it. Yes, sir. Tip number 1, how to reorder effects in the mixer channel. A lot of times when you're using your mixer, you might want to play with the order of your effects and kind of the signal processing path. And a really easy way to do that is to simply, once you have multiple effects loaded into a channel, you just put your mouse over the plugin or the effect that you want to move and you scroll your wheel, baby. I'm just doing a mouse scroll and you can reorder your effects just like that. Super helpful for when you want to just kind of try out different signals in different orders. So that's my first tip. Tip number 1, how to reorder your effects. All right, guys, tip number 2 is also going to be a mixer channel tip. And that is, if you have an effect applied to one channel and say you want to apply that same exact effect to another channel, including all the little tweaks you may have made to the effect, all you got to do is click the drop down menu, save preset as, you click and drag it and you can drop it on your other channel and it'll load the plugin exactly as you have it in your other channel. Now this is just a quick way to do this instead of having to go find the plugin, load it on your new channel and then go try to match the settings up or save a preset. This is just the easiest way to actually just copy the same effect over onto the next channel. All right, guys, the third tip is going to be a tip for your channel rack. And sometimes it's important how you have your channels actually ordered. And if you want to change the order of your channels for any reason, whether that be because you want them to be always in a standard format for yourself, or whether you want to send them to the mixer in a certain order, all you got to do is click here, hold Alt on your keyboard, up or down, and you can move the channel. Just that simple. This is how you can reorder your channel. And if you want to reorder multiple channels, you just click and drag and hold, and then you can hold Alt and move up and down, and you can move a set of channels all at one time. Also, it's worth noting that if you're just doing one channel at a time, you can also just hold Shift and use your scroll wheel on your mouse to reorder the channels. But the caveat with this one is you can't do multiple channels at once, right? If I try to do multiple channels at once, it won't let me do it. So if you want to do multiple channels at once, you got to still select a few of them, hold Alt and to go up and down. Otherwise, Shift and scroll will do the same thing. All right. All right, guys. So this tip here is going to be in the piano roll and it's going to stack into the next tip. So make sure you pay attention to these two together because they do go hand in hand. This tool is called the stamp tool, and this is really helpful if you want to build out your scale or if you want to build out chord progressions. Let me show you how. You can get to the stamp tool by clicking the drop down menu here and come into stamp, and then you can select what scale or what chord you want to actually stamp in your piano roll. You can also get to the stamp tool by coming here and clicking this icon right here beside the magnet. And let's say I know my song here I'm working on is an F minor, and that usually means the Aeolian natural minor. So let me click here. I want to stamp this and make F minors. So let me click on F, boom, and it's going to actually stamp an F minor scale. So now you can easily see all the notes that are part of your scale. One thing you want to make sure is that you actually have only one deselected, and that way you can keep stamping the same scale or chord that you selected. I selected again the Aeolian natural minor, and so if I want to, you know, build it out over a couple of octaves, you just can keep clicking. Okay. If I don't have this deselected, right, you can tell it's deselected because the checkbox is grayed out. Let's enable it. Let's select it. And now if I go to stamp a Aeolian, if I do it once, I can't do it again, right? I can't actually do it again. So you want to make sure only one is deselected if you want to keep stamping. And that's going to be really helpful, especially for building out chord progression. So let's say I wanted to build out a minor chord progression. Come here, make sure this checkbox is grayed out so you know it's deselected, and let me click on minor. I'm in F minor, so let me put just an F minor chord, and then let me put a C minor chord, and then let me do another F minor, and then I'll do one of these. Right, and this would be an easy way to build out a chord progression. When you do the stamping, it does group the chords. It groups them together, so if you move one, it'll move them all. If you shorten one, it'll also shorten them all. The way to get around that is to hold Control, highlight, and you can do Alt G to ungroup, and then you can move one at a time or what have you. So again, you want to highlight it, Alt G, and that will ungroup it. Otherwise, they'll stay grouped together, and when you move them, they'll move as a unit. Okay? You can also get to grouping and ungrouping by coming to the drop-down menu again and coming here to group, and you can group or ungroup your group of notes. And that is the piano roll stamp tool. All right, guys, as I told you, these two tips kind of go hand in hand. So let's say that now that I've stamped a couple of octaves of the F minor scale and I can see them, I see what notes are in my scale. Now I want to go to another channel and actually make a melody. So let me go to this piano roll. If I want to see those same notes, you can come down, hit this menu, come to View, and go down to Ghost Channels. And now that I have Ghost Channels enabled, you can actually see the scale that I pasted in my original channel. So now if I want to make a melody, I can click around and I can paint in and know that as long as I'm staying on these gray notes that I can see, then I know that I'm going to be in scale. So this is a good way to build a melody and be able to stay in scale without having to think too much about it. This is really great for painting your melodies. Now that was just one way to use Ghost Channels to be able to make sure you're making a melody in scale. But let's say I've already made a melody and now I want to make a counter melody, or I want an instrument to stack on certain parts of that melody. Then if I have Ghost Channels enabled, I can see my original melody and I can come in and click the notes that I want my second instrument to hit. I may not want it to hit all the notes, but there may be certain notes that I want my second instrument to follow along with. This is a good way to do that when you don't want to copy over the whole melody. You can just hit what notes you want to play along on your second instrument and kind of create some harmony there. So this is the second way to use Ghost Channels. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope it helps you improve your workflow. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and the notification bell. Until next time, this is Al B, and we are out. Yes, sir.